Hello and welcome to day 24 of 30 Days of Doodles. Today we are going to do some movie theater style doodles. So we're going to do a ticket, popcorn, and soda. So we'll start with a ticket. So the first thing we're going to do is we are just going to take our pencil and we are going to draw a horizontal rectangle. And now we are going to round out the corners, but instead of rounding them out so that the corner is actually rounded, we are reversing that rounded part and we're rounding the inside. So we're creating these little arches inside. And then we're going to add these little U shapes on both sides of the ticket, and that just kind of gives it that look where it's been perforated and it can be torn. And then we're going to draw another rectangle inside the ticket. And then we're going to pick up our pen and we are going to trace over the outside of our ticket and that inner rectangle. And that's because we are going to add a very small doodle inside the rectangle and we want to have a clean slate before we get going with that. I also decided to add some vertical dotted lines right here along the sides of that inner rectangle, and I just figured that this kind of matched up with what a ticket looked like. Again, doodles are completely up to you and what they look like and how you perceive them, and you will find your own style. So if you want to add little details like the dotted lines, feel free. If you don't, you don't have to. Now on the inside, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a movie reel. But if you remember from day 20, we did a lemon, and so that's kind of what this is going to be. So we're going to draw a circle first, and then we're going to divide it into 6 even portions, or as even as we can with our pencil. And then we're going to trace over our circle first, and then we aren't going to trace over those lines that are the dividing lines, because those are just our guidelines for the inner part. So now we're just drawing those inner little triangles. And this does turn out looking a bit more like a lemon than like a movie reel. So interpret it how you want. And then the last thing I did right here is just to add that little film strip coming right out the side of the movie reel. And then we'll erase the rest of our pencil lines to finish our ticket. To start off our popcorn, we are going to draw a vertical rectangle, and then like we did yesterday with the fries, we are going to pull those top corners down and into an angle to give it that tapered look so it's not just a flat box. For the little popcorn pieces, the best way I can describe them is to think of like a 3-leaf clover. So you have these 3 rounded shapes that are kind of in a triangle or in a circle, and like we did with the fries or the macaroni yesterday, you just kind of want to layer them. So pick a few that are going to be out in front and place them, and then just kind of fill it in and add pieces until you're happy. And then we're going to pick up our pen and we are going to go over all of the lines that we've made so far before adding any detail to the carton of popcorn. For the carton of popcorn, I'm going to start by drawing a oval, and I'm going to just use my pen here. If you prefer to start with pencil, please feel free. And then I'm going to double outline that. And then the last thing we'll do is we will just add some vertical lines that are parallel to the box of popcorn. So they're kind of slanted, and then they get straight in the middle, and then the slant changes, the angle changes to match the other side of the popcorn. And then we'll erase our pencil lines before moving on to our soda. So to draw our soda, the very first thing we're going to do is just draw a vertical rectangle, and then we will taper it off the same way we did the popcorn. So we will pull those top corners down and into the middle. And I like to draw these little guidelines at the bottom just to know where I want to pull those lines into, so that I'm making them pretty even on each side. And then I'm rounding out the top and the bottom of my cup, and then adding that back edge along the top too. So now we'll draw the straw. So it's one rectangle coming up, and then we're going to bend the straw, so one rectangle that is perpendicular to that first rectangle we just made. So now we'll pick up our pen and we will go over our lines. Remember that you're not going over your guidelines, just the refined lines that you use to create the actual cup. And then when you get to the straw, we aren't going to draw those individual rectangles. Those are also guidelines. So we're just tracing around the outside shape of that straw and then bringing it down to the center of the lid of the cup. And then I add this slightly rounded arch shape of where this straw would be poking into the cup. And then I added a second horizontal line or arch shape to really define the lid from the rest of the cup. And then erase the rest of your lines, and then you can decorate your cup however you want. I decided to add these little lines on the straw for the bendy part, and then just do a curvy line and then a second curvy line on the front of the cup. So that wraps up day 24. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll join me tomorrow for day 25 for some sleep doodles, and I will see you there.